Hindi sikreto kung paano umandad ang Davao. Kailangan lang ng konting tapang. Tapang para ituwid ang mapagsamantala, mga lumalabag sa batas at nangapi sa walang laban. May katahimikan sa Davao, kailangan lang ng disiplina at determinasyon. Dumami ang trabaho, nagpag-aral ang mga bata, sumaya ang bawat pamilya. Pwedeng magkaganito ang buong Pilipinas. Kailangan lang ng tapang at malasakit.
Para sa pagbabago at kapayapaan, bagong lipunan at bagong bayan, bagong pamahalaan, bagong gobyerno at patakaran, at patas na batas.
A lot of things can be said about Mayor Rodrigo Rodi R. Duterte, both good and bad. But one can never say that he makes promises he cannot keep. When he first ran for mayor in 1988, he ran on the platform of restoring order and stability in what was then considered as the killing fields of Asia. Just barely a decade later, Asia Week magazine included Davao in the list of top 20 most livable cities in Asia, making it the most livable city in the Philippines. What was known as no man's land in the 1980s became a city known for its cleanliness and orderliness. Mayor Rodi delivered on his noble promise for Davao during his first term. So Davaoeños kept voting for him again and again. And he has never lost an election since 1988, no matter how bad his critics and political rivals paint him to be. Mayor Rodi is the longest-serving city mayor of Davao. Now on his 6th term as mayor, he actually first got into politics by accident. Son of the late Governor Vicente Duterte, the last governor of the still undivided Davao province, Mayor Rodi was a reluctant politician who believed that becoming mayor, like the presidency of the republic, has a lot to do with destiny. When the late President Ferdinand E. Marcos was ousted during the 1986 People Power Revolt, and upon the installation of the revolutionary government of President Corazon C. Aquino, then Assistant City Prosecutor Rodrigo R. Duterte was drafted and appointed OIC Vice Mayor of Davao City in 1986. And he was only considered for the post after his mother, Soledad Nanay Suling Roa Duterte, a staunch activist against martial law and a pillar in the local women's movement, refused the appointment. Mayor Rodi was prevailed upon to accept the OIC Vice Mayor appointment because he was thinking that he might be promoted to City Prosecutor after a democratically elected Vice Mayor has been chosen. That was his only goal then, to become head of the Davao City Prosecution Office. But fate intervened. The people of Davao chose him to be their city mayor in the first general elections under the Aquino government. And the rest, as they say, is history. The history of Davao in the last 2 decades, to be more accurate. There is at least an entire generation of Davaoeños who have not known any other mayor than Duterte. 20 years, 6 3-year terms as city mayor, and 1 3-year term as representative of the 1st Congressional District of Davao City. For someone who first got into politics by default, Mayor Rodi has done more for the city than any other politician of his generation. And he has done so with a clear vision and direction, as manifested in how he anchored the milestones of his 6 terms around a particular theme. On his first term, from 1988 to 1992, restoring order and reorganizing the city government, restored law and order amidst the chaos of the city with the Disiplina and Hapsay-Dalan programs, and initiated a massive cleanup drive, reorganized the city government and built its institutional capabilities to align with the local government code, appointed deputy mayors for the different tribes, and organized the city through 11 political and administrative districts for more effective and efficient local government administration. As a result of the restoration of order, Davao City posed a positive balance of trade for the first time in years. On his second term, from 1992 to 1995, setting clear development directions and comprehensive planning, mobilization of all sectors to actively participate in the planning process, the first LGU in the country to organize the City Development Council and the Barangay Development Councils, institutionalizing people's participation in the development process, drafted the 25-year Comprehensive Development Plan of Davao City, created 2 pieces of landmark legislation, the Local Investment Incentive Code and the Children's Development Code, implemented the Barangay Integrated Management Program to stimulate grassroots development, and the city hit the 1 billion peso mark in terms of local revenues. On its third term, from 1995 to 1998, going global and integrating gender and development, the city embarked on an aggressive tourism and investment promotions campaign through the Invest in Davao program, amended the city's zoning ordinance to respond to the growing needs of the city. For the first time, the No Man's Land was recognized as the Destination of the Year by the Department of Tourism, played a vital role in the formation of BIMP Iaga, recognized by Asia Week magazine as one of the top 20 most livable cities in Asia, recognized by Citibank as the 2nd most important city in the Philippines, created the landmark legislation, the Women Development Code of Davao City, established the Child Minding Center for children of city government employees, established the Balay Dangupan and Balay Paginhawaan for children in need of special protection. On his fourth term from 2001 to 2004, suppressing crime and taking care of the poor and the environment, established the 911 emergency response system for the city, the third of its kind in the world and the first and only one in Asia. Equipped the Davao City Police Office with brand new equipment, vehicles, patrol cars. Purchased state-of-the-art ambulances and emergency rescue units. For the first time, because of LGU support, the Davao City Police Office was recognized as the best police office in the Philippines and has consistently won this award ever since. Established the Davao City Treatment and Rehabilitation of Drug Dependents, a resort-like community for drug dependents in the city. Created the Lingap para sa Mahirap program to subsidize healthcare needs of poor constituents. Launched the Urban Land Reform Program to assist qualified informal settlers in relocating or acquiring their own house and lot. Drafted the Local Development Plan for Children and launched the Children's Congress. Created the landmark legislation, the Comprehensive Anti-Smoking Ordinance of Davao City. Implemented the Solid Waste Management Program. Adopted the latest information technology system in local governance. Launched the City of Character Advocacy campaign, starting with professionalizing the local government service. On his fifth term, from 2004 to 2007, investing in Davao youth and stopping violence against women and children. Launched the Recognizing Outstanding Davao Youth Project, or RODI Project. For the first time, Davao City got not just one, but two Galing Pook Awards for its Gender and Development Program. Established the Siglakan Women's Crisis Center, a one-stop shop and halfway home for women victims of violence and their children, the first of its kind in the country. Created the Office of the Special Counsel for Violence Against Women to attend to all legal needs of women victims of violence and the prosecution of their cases. Established the Madrasa Development Program for the city's Muslim youth. Established the Davao City Chinatown and created the Davao City Chinatown Development Council. Purchased new garbage bins and new equipment for its solid waste management program. Established the Ray of Hope Village in Maa City Jail for women detainees, the first of its kind in the country. On his sixth term, from 2007 to 2010, building new infrastructure and nourishing the city's soul. Implemented the adaptive traffic control system in the city's major intersections. Started the urban drainage and flood control system. Intensified watershed rehabilitation and coastal resource management. Built more farm-to-market roads and alternative road system network. Established Damlag Home for Boys as a response to problems arising in the juvenile justice law. Developed the old PTA grounds into a new city landmark, the People's Park. Established the Museo Davaoeño. Launched the Davao program to establish Davao City as the culture capital of the Philippines. Launched the Scholarship for Tertiary Education Program, or STEP. Implemented the Mobile Early Childhood Care and Development Units in the barangays, a mobile preschool and daycare. Launched the Magnegosyo Taday and Magnegosyo Tabay, social entrepreneurship programs to address poverty and stimulate the grassroots economy. Clearly, the Duterte administration is not all about order and security. It is not just an end in itself, but a means to a greater goal. Restoring order and securing the law-abiding citizens and visitors of Davao were the prerequisites for the city's growth and development. When the people are safe and secure, they are able to realize their potentials and fulfill their promise. More than being the Punisher, as Time magazine called Mayor Rodi, he is also the generous provider who mobilizes Davao's resources to take care of the poor, the sick, and the hungry. Whether they are residents of the city or not, whether they voted for him or campaigned against him, he is the just leader who fights for the defenseless, the helpless, and the hopeless. He encourages open dialogue among his multicultural constituents and promotes diversity. He values honesty and truth and protects every person's right to express his or her opinion, even if it disagrees with his own. He is also the great problem solver, as he personally listens and attends to all his constituents' problems, from the most mundane to the most complex of issues. The people of Davao are spoiled that way. They really believe that everything can be given by Mayor Rodi, and all their problems will be solved by him instantly, which would sometimes make the mayor sigh and say, "I am not God. I cannot do everything." Indeed, Mayor Rodi Duterte is not God. But for most of the masses who love him and keep voting for him again and again, he is their Moses, who led them to the promised land of what Davao is today.
Hello! Sana ay nagustuhan niyo yung first video na ginawa namin about federalism. Ngayon naman, let's take a deeper look into this type of government. Naniniwala kaming mas lalong maintindihan ang konseptong ito kapag ilagay natin sa kumbaga isang scenario kung saan ilalarawan natin ang pangkaraniwang ginagawa ng isang estudyante sa isang araw. Okay ba yun? Yun bang pagising mo sa umaga hanggang pag-uwi mo and all activities that you normally do in between those times. At alamin natin kung anong level of government ang involved dito. Mula sa pinakasimpleng bagay na ginagawa mo araw-araw, titingnan natin anong klaseng gobyerno ang nangangasiwa dyan. Okay? Simulan natin. Una, pagising mo sa umaga, syempre maliligo ka at naghahanda para sa eskwela. Ang kuryente at tubig na ginagamit mo, o di kaya'y gas kung ang nagpapatakbo ng water heater mo ay gas, at yung sewerage system kung saan dumadaloy ang pinanligo mo, lahat yun ang nangangasiwa state government. Then you will have your breakfast at 7 a.m. for example. Ang perang ginamit mong pambili ng kinakain mo, whether imported or local, at mga kalakalan at advertising, pinangangasiwaan lahat yan ng federal government. Nagiging involved ang state government sa area ng consumer laws at mga batas sa lugar ng trabaho o workplace at yung mismong establishmentong tinatrabahuan mo. Ang mga health inspection naman sa mga shops at kung saan-saan pang mga tindahan, kung saan mo binili yung mga pagkain at iba pang gamit, ang local government ang gumagawa ng mga inspection na yun. Pagkatapos aalis ka ng bahay, mag-aabang ka ng bus o jeep syempre, no? So, binibigyan ng federal government ng funding ang state government para sa construction ng mga kalsada o yung tinatawag nating major roads na dinadaanan ng mga bus at jeep. Ang mga state government naman may kanya-kanyang transport system gaya ng sa bus, batas trapiko at may sarili din silang mga pulisya o state police. Ang mga state government din ang nagpo-provide ng traffic lights, road signs, at sila rin yung nagko-kolekta ng road taxes. Ang local government naman ang nagpo-provide ng mga local roads, street signs at mga bus stops. Pagpunta mo ng school, ang federal government ay nagbibigay ng funding sa edukasyon mo, halimbawa Study Now Pay Later program ng gobyerno, at saka yung budget sa mga state universities, ang nagpo-provide nun ang federal government. Ang state government ang nangangasiwa sa larangan ng edukasyon, pati sa subject curriculum, at pati sa mga qualifications ng mga teachers. Ang local government ang namamahala sa local kindergartens and preschools. Kung gusto mo naman pumunta ng library habang nasa school ka para basa pa more, ang National Library ay pinangangasiwaan niya ng federal government. At syempre, ang state government ang nangangasiwa sa state libraries at school libraries. Ang local government naman ang namamahala sa mga local libraries gaya ng city and municipal libraries na tinutulungan din ng state government sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng mga subsidies sa mga local councils. At kung gusto mo ng work-life balance, kasi nga sabi all work and no play makes you a dull individual, gusto mo ng sports, ang federal government ay involved sa National Institute of Sport at saka sa iba't ibang national sport bodies. For example, sa Australia, marami silang national sport bodies gaya ng Tennis Australia, Badminton Australia, Athletics Australia, Volleyball Australia, Swimming Australia, at marami pang iba. Ang state government naman involved sa state sports centers. Sila yung nagbibigay ng funding sa mga local councils at namamahala rin sa safety, health, and education. Ang local government, sila yung nagpo-provide ng mga local sports field at mga playgrounds. Well, kung gusto mo namang mag-FB, tumawag sa telepono, mag-Twitter, o gumamit ng iba pang social media during the day, pinangangasiwaan ng federal government ang telephone services. During the day, sometimes gusto mong manood ng TV. Yung mga pinapanood mong mga teleserye at iba pang mga shows, may mga classifications yang dinadaanan at kinaklasify itong mga shows na to gamit ang tinatawag nating broadcasting laws na pinangangasiwaan ng federal government. Kung may sakit ka at kung gusto mong pumunta sa doktor, yung Medicare na ginagamit mo o di kaya yung PhilHealth, federal government ang mamamahala dyan. Aside from that, nagbibigay din ng funding ang federal government sa mga state governments sa larangan ng kalusugan. Ang state government ang nagpo-provide ng mga hospital at ambulance services. Samantalang ang local government naman ang nagbibigay ng mga community services gaya ng pagbibigay ng mga bakuna at iba pa. Kung minsan mapapansin mong pumupunta yung mga health officers ng City Health Office para mag-extend ng tinatawag nating serbisyong pangkalusugan. Pagkatapos ng eskwela, gusto mong, pasyal-pasyal muna, punta ng malls, o punta sa mga parks o resorts. Ang mga batas ng mga pagpaplano ng mga pasilidad na ito, yung mga malls, kung saan ilalagay yung parks o resorts, ang nangangasiwa dyan ay state government. Ang local government pumapasok kasi sila yung namamahala sa mga local building controls gaya ng mga permits at fees. Ang local governments din ang namamahala sa mga projects gaya ng pagko-construct ng mga local transport terminals, footpaths, bike paths, parking areas at marami pang iba. Pag uwi mo ng bahay, schedule ba ng basura ngayon sa lugar mo? Well, ang federal government ang nangangasiwa sa paggawa ng mga national environmental policies at framework legislations. At ang mga ito ay naaayon din sa mga international treaties. Samantalang ang state government ang namamahala sa waste disposal at landfill provisions at pollution controls. Ang local government pumapasok kasi sila yung responsable sa garbage collection at mga local environmental regulations. So yun yung isang buong araw ng karaniwang mga aktibidades na ginagawa ng isang estudyante. At sa pamamagitan yan, na-analyze natin kung anong klaseng gobyerno ang pumapasok o nagiging involved sa pagtakbo ng buhay ng isang estudyante. So sana ay mas nakakatulong tayo itong ginawa nating diskusyon about sa federalism.
Philippine Presidential System versus Philippine Federal Parliamentary System. Part 1, paano binubuo ang isang gobyerno. Sa video na to, ikukumpara natin kung paano binubuo ang gobyerno sa ilalim ng Presidential System at Federal Parliamentary System. Sa Presidential System na sistema ngayon ng Pilipinas, ang kapangyarihang mamuno ay binibigay sa executive branch ng gobyerno na pinamumunuan ng presidente at ng kanyang gabinete. Ang executive branch ay hindi necessarily accountable to the legislative branch. Sa isang federal parliamentary system, ang executive power ay hinahawakan ng Prime Minister at ng kanyang gabinete. At ang executive branch na to ay accountable sa legislative branch ng gobyerno. Kung bakit, i-explain natin yan mamaya ng konti. Sa pagpili ng magiging pangulo tuwing general election sa ilalim ng isang presidential system, gumagamit tayo ng plurality voting system. Ang ibig sabihin, sa lahat ng tumatakbo ng pagkapangulo, ang kandidatong may pinakamaraming boto ang siyang mananalo kahit na walang majority. Paramihan ng botong nakuha, in other words. Pagkatapos ng general election sa isang federal parliamentary system gamit ang preferential voting method, ang partidong nakakuha ng majority ng lahat ng seats sa House of Representatives ang siyang bubuo ng gobyerno at ang leader ng panalong partido ang siyang nagiging prime minister. Kung sa presidential system mapapaalis mo ang isang presidenteng gumagawa ng katiwalian via a lengthy impeachment process, ang prime minister naman, kahit walang ginawang katiwalian, ay pwedeng mapaalis sa pwesto sa pamamagitan lamang ng isang loss of confidence sa pamamahala mula sa partido ng kanyang pinamumunuan. Pinapalitan siya ng isang kapartido din na magiging prime minister at leader ng partido. Paano nga ba ginagawa ang preferential voting system? Ang preferential voting ay isang sistema kung saan binuboto ng mga botante ang mga kandidato ayon sa kung sino ang una nilang gusto o first preference, sino ang pangalawang gusto, pangatlo, and so on. Mananalo ang kandidato kapag nakakuha siya ng absolute majority ng 50% plus 1. Dahil dito, nasisiguro na ang mananalo ay ang pinakagusto ng mga botante na kandidato. Halimbawa may tatlong kandidato, candidate A, B, at C. May 16 na total votes ang nakast. Si candidate A ay nakakuha ng 7 boto, habang si candidate B naman ay may 5 at si candidate C may 4. Dahil wala ni isa sa kanila ang nakakuha ng absolute majority, ang kandidato na may pinakamaliit na boto, in this case, si candidate C, ay nai-eliminate. Ang kanyang balota naman ay binibilang uli at ina-allocate ang mga boto ayon sa kung sino ang second at third preferences ng mga balota niya. Halimbawa, 2 sa balota ng candidate C ang nagbigay ng second preference sa candidate A at 2 din sa candidate B. Sa kabuuan, nakatala si candidate A ng 7 primary votes at 2 preference votes katumbas ng absolute majority, so mananalo si candidate A sa eleksyon. Ang legislative branch ng presidential system ng Pilipinas ay bicameral. Ang ibig sabihin may Senado at House of Representatives. Ang mga senador ay ini-elect gamit ang plurality at large voting system kung saan buong bansa ang bumuboto. Ang isang botante ay pwedeng bumoto ng hanggang 12 kandidato mula sa lahat ng tumatakbo. Ang top 12 na may pinakamalaking boto ang siyang mananalo. Ang district representatives naman na bumubuo ng 80% ng seats sa House of Representatives ay ini-elect gamit ang first past the post o winner-takes-all system. Ang party list representatives na bumubuo sa remaining 20% ng seats sa House of Representatives ini-elect gamit ang proportional representation. Mananalo ng at least isang upuan sa House of Representatives ang isang party list kung ang total number of votes na nakuha niya ay katumbas ng at least 2% of the national vote. Ang constituents ng congressman ay yaong mga tao sa distrito na kanyang nire-represent. Ang constituents naman ng party list representatives ay yung nasa minority sectors, gaya ng labor sector, farmers, urban poor, indigenous at iba pa. Ang constituents naman ng bawat senador ay ang buong Pilipinas. Kung ang Pilipinas ay isang federal parliamentary system gamit ang isang preferential voting method, bawat member ng House of Representatives ay nagre-represent ng isang electoral division within a state. Bawat electoral division ay may pare-parehong bilang ng mga botante. Ang constituents naman ng isang senador ay ang state lamang na kanyang nire-represent at hindi buong Pilipinas. Sa gabinete naman, sa ilalim ng presidential system, ang mga miyembro na bumubuo sa gabinete ng presidente na nagpapatakbo sa iba't ibang departamento gaya ng Department of Defense, Department of Foreign Affairs, at iba pa, most, if not all, ay outsiders, gaya ng mga dating politicians, dating military, mga kaibigan o kaklase ng presidente. In other words, yung mga taong hindi inihalal ng mga botante sa eleksyon. People whose requirements would always be questionable, let alone their accountability. Kung ang Pilipinas ay isang federal parliamentary system, ang mga miyembro ng gabinete ng Prime Minister ay mismong mga elected officials na gumaganap din bilang mga ministers of departments gaya ng Department of Defense, Department of Foreign Affairs at iba pa. Sila yung mga senador at member ng House of Representatives mula mismo sa Parliament na inappoint ng Prime Minister. Kaya makikita mo sa setup ng isang federal parliamentary system na ang nagpapatakbo ng gobyerno ay accountable sa kanilang partido at sa legislative arm ng government. Kasi nga galing lahat sa legislative branch ang bumubuo sa executive branch. Sa part 2 ng video, pag-uusapan natin kung paano tumakbo ang gobyerno sa ilalim ng dalawang sistemang ito. See you then.